I need to give a quick warning. This episode will be in 2 parts, and well, the warnings are this will get spicy. You know what that means. And bondage. And well, a little dirty shit. So, yeah, but anyways, here we go. Tonight, the ball is going to commence. These past few days, Igneous has received many royals and nobles from allied kingdoms that were invited to the ball. The presentations became hectic, and Yin was very busy. Yin hasn't seen Bakugou these past few days because of the busy preparations. She considered it a good thing because she doesn't really know how to act with him after that weird encounter she had in his study those nights ago. Also, she failed to convince her family to come to the ball. She sent a letter, but they never sent a reply, and the ball is tonight. At least, she expected it. Her father isn't one to change his mind so easily. She told Uraraka and Midoriya about it. She hopes Midoriya would go and reply the message to Bakugou in order to space her from examining it to herself. Right now, though, Yin managed to take a breather from all the work she has done. The hustle of the ball started to die down now, and everyone seemed to be in place. She started to eat lunch and made her way to the dining room. When she arrived, her blood ran cold as she went eye to eye with the person she's been avoiding. Bakugou sat at his assigned spot on the table, and as usual, paperwork littered the front of him. The only difference is that he's not currently nursing a bottle of alcohol, but instead, he opted for water. Well, there's plenty of time to get drunk at the ball tonight anyways, so... You've been standing there for 10 seconds. Are you gonna move or what? He said, and Yin shook her head. She slightly went to her seat where her lunch has been served. The occasional would be Yin striking up the conversation first, but this time she's completely silent, and Bakugou was the one to break the silence again. You didn't tell me your family isn't coming. Yin looked up at the mention of it, and she usually found her voice. Yes. They were unable to attend. Deku had to be the one to tell me. Does your old man have a problem with me or something? He asked. Yin cringed literally because it is true. Father wasn't feeling well. She lied. Bakugou raised a brow. Really? He said that in the letter? Yin never told him about the letter she's been exchanging with her father. Midoriya must have told him about her receiving a letter from her father about not attending the ball. Yes, he wrote about it. The physician forbids him from moving around. My mother and brother refused to leave his side. She lied again. Bakugou glared at Yin as she became nervous. Why didn't he send me a letter then? He asked, and Yin wasn't expecting that, but it was better than him expecting her. Why, is he supposed to send you letters? There was a genuine confusion in her tone. Well, I'm your damn husband, he retorted. Yin thought about it and decided he does have a point. Bakugou is her father's son-in-law and the king of Magnus' ally kingdom. Such connections between two kings isn't odd and considers exchange of words and understanding should happen often. However, Yin's father refused to say anything to Bakugou after he broke the deal of giving financial aid to the struggling kingdom of Magnus. My father rarely writes to anyone, even to me, your majesty. She smiled slightly and decided to start eating. You shouldn't have told me so I could do something about it. That surprised Yin, really. He keeps saying things that Yin does not expect him to say. It all felt weird all of a sudden. And why would you do that? She asked. Huh? Why do you even ask, Sparkles? They're your family, and any normal human being would want their family to visit after not seeing them for a long time. It's not that Yin is just confused as to why he suddenly wants to do her a favor. It's also unusual for Bakugou to do this. You're right, she sighed, but it's too late for them to get here tonight. It's all right. Thank you for your concern. Bakugou clicked his tongue and turned away from her. Fine, whatever, he muttered. Yin's face scrunched in confusion. It's really so unusual. she decided to distract her confusion gaze to her potatoes. For now, Yin opted to continue eating and prepare herself for the ball tonight. As soon as the sun departed into the horizon, the night sky drenched all over Igneous. The ball started. The place has never been this well lit before, and it used to be peaceful during the night. But now mixed humors and cheerful music filled the palace, and Yin couldn't help but be swayed by the joyous atmosphere. Even the people at the village decided to celebrate as they held their own ball at the town square. Igneous is basically alive these past few days, and it was as if all the trouble of the kingdom has been set aside for now. But not Yin. She doesn't want to be a killjoy, but wanted to enjoy the ball with someone, but she's always reminded that she has to go to talk with General Aizawa later. Now she's all dressed up and ready for the ball, thanks to Uraka. Unfortunately, the brunette wasn't allowed to come. Yin planned to sneak her in, but Uraka refused, said that Yin might get in trouble. But in the end, Yin went without Uraka by her side, and now she's surrounded by many nobles and royalty. The ball is set in the grand hall. The once spacious and empty room is now littered with golden lights, decorated tables, and fashionable nobles. Oh, I feel transported. It was as if you're not in Igneous anymore. Midnight yelled in delight. She led Yin all the way to the far center of the room where the thrones were placed. When I got here, I almost didn't recognize the place. Yin laughed with Midnight. See, dear, you're looking spectacular. Thank you. You look great as well. Both women continued to walk until they stopped, and Midnight finally let go of Yin. Now, you go to Bakugou's side and impress. She giggled before leaving. Yin smiled and watched her go before she turned to where the thrones were. There, she found Bakugou seated on his throne. He wears his best uniform and robes, and you could tell he was the most powerful man in this room. His gloved hands rested on his temples as he leaned on the armrest of the throne. He kept his messy hair as usual, but he looks natural with it, and everyone can say it adds to his dangerous look. That somehow managed to charm a bunch of ladies here tonight. He noticed her gaze and turned to look at her. Yin blinked and decided to walk to his side with her head low. She unawares that he has pinned his gaze on her figure. Hi, she braved out as soon as she got to his side. He only nodded to acknowledge her presence. Bakugou stood up and got to her side. The nobles and other royalties lined up as soon as they saw the royal couple stand side by side. A moment later, Yin and Bakugou greeted pairs of nobles and royalty continuously. They received a lot of applause about the preparations of the ball and the amicity they received during their stay. Queen Yin, Monoma decided to bow as soon as their turn came. He brought his knight as his partner for tonight's ball, which Yin found interesting. Monoma turned to Bakugou, but he did not bow. King Bakugou. Kendo gave a little curtsy as she addressed both the royals. I must say I'm almost quite astounded with the preparations and the designs for the ball, but I believe you could do that better than this. He started babbling, but of course the decorations in my kingdom are far more incredible than this, so I must say another word, and I won't hesitate to kill you right here and now. Bakugou cut him off with a growl. Monoma immediately stepped to but then a smirk appeared on his lips. Now, let us not bath this glamoureth of blood, shall we? Yin sighed and decided to cut in. Besides, Kendo was looking specifically tempted to drag the Sly King away from them right now. Indeed, let's just enjoy the ball for now. Thank you, King Nomoma. Now, we must greet the others. Yin kept her smile as she watched Kendo push Monoma out of their way. Cheeky bastard. Bakugou clicked his tongue and Yin only sighed once again before continuing their greetings. Ladies and gentlemen, Kirishima yelled to silence the buzzing of people. After greeting numerous important people, Yin and Bakugou finally got to sit down. Bakugou had Kirishima to do the announcements for him because he quoted that he is not fond of speaking so forwardly in front of these people. It is with great pleasure to welcome you all to an annual celebration of the Summer Solstice Festival, which signifies the great kingdom of Igneous. Kirishima started, smiling to everyone. To His and Her Majesty, without their efforts the celebration wouldn't be possible. May you continue to lead us to the golden age. Now, I hereby commence the ball. Everyone clapped and laughed, and soon music blared all over the great hall. Everyone started dancing, and it is expected the dancing would continue till morning. The palace is very much alive. Are you going to dance? Yin asked Bakugou. No. He quickly answered, and Yin's shoulder fell. She hoped that he could at least have some fun. All right, I'm going, she trailed as she slowly left her seat and came to mingle with the others. Your Majesty! Mina cheered as she pulled Yin to them and danced. Yin danced with them for a while before they stopped, and she stopped General Aizawa by the corner. Well, spotted, sorry. I'll be back, she told her friends and snuck out. Midoriya suddenly approached her. Your Majesty, this is your chance. You must approach him now, he whispered. Yes, but what exactly should I say? She whispered back. Get to know him first, Your Majesty. If the Queen speaks to him, he will give no choice but to answer. And then you should get his perspective about the war. Let us find out his side first. Yin nodded. All right. Thank you, Midoriya. Good luck, Your Majesty. General Aizawa sat by the corner, nursing a glass of wine and wearing his uniform. He looks like he wanted to escape this party and sleep. The man looked like he wasn't slept in ages. He noticed Yin and stood up to bow. Your Majesty. Yin smiled. General Aizawa, I believe we haven't met properly before. Indeed, we haven't, Your Majesty, he said. His voice sounded tired as well, but he kept to the formalities. I've always wanted to be included in all the warfare talks. Yin started. I'm surprised you are interested about it, Your Majesty. Have you tried to talk about it with the king to include you? No, I doubt he would let me participate. Are you knowledgeable in that area, Your Majesty? He asked. No, but I want to learn about it, hence why I want to participate in one of your war strategies meetings. Yin heard the slightest sound of a scoff come from General Aizawa. But I hardly talk in it, Your Majesty. Yin blinked and turned to him. Oh, but why? The king does all the talking, Your Majesty. He used to leave it all to me back then, but as soon as he started to take back the lands from Glacia, he took charge of everything. And is that all right with you? General Aizawa shrugged. Well, he is the king. His orders are absolute. Yin tilted her head. If I may ask, General Aizawa, do you approve every strategy His Majesty wanted you to follow? His Majesty is quite adept at planning strategies. He said that, but Yin caught something in his tone that doesn't quietly approve of it. Quick adapt, you say? You hummed. You don't sound like you approve of his strategies. General Aizawa is quiet. You can tell me, General Aizawa. Believe me, I don't want to offend His Majesty as well, so it's just between us. He sighed and shifted his weight on the other leg. I don't approve of it at all. Why? Sometimes His Majesty is not afraid to sacrifice a lot of lives for the sake of victory. Yin pursed her lips. But war is war, Your Majesty, he said. I think I matter the strategies, no matter how good it is. These are men who are bound to die. But you don't want that? He sighed again. You are right, but there is nothing else I can do. This kingdom is the territories it holds are claimed by spilling the blood of the enemies and its own soldiers. The method His Majesty is using is no different. Yin has nothing to say to that, so she opted to ask a question. Are you afraid of war, General? General Aizawa took looked at her before looking down. I wish I am, but I do wish no man would die again. Yin also wished the same too. General Aizawa continued, but humanity craves war, Your Majesty, and it exclaims this kingdom, so I have no reason to believe war will stop. He drank his wine and did not meet Yin's eyes, opting to look at the people dancing in the center. Well, she said, I definitely keep this perspective of yours, and I hope to meet you again, General Aizawa. Of course, Your Majesty. He bowed again, and Yin took her leave. She concluded that they have a big chance in pursuing Aizawa into joining the coup. The poor man looked really tired and wished no one would die again. You can really see that the continuous war he's put to lead has exhausted him. Yin couldn't imagine the weight he carried upon the deaths of his comrades. Midori spotted Yin and approached her. It went well, I hope, he said. Yes, Yin nodded. And I will fill you in tomorrow. That is, if the ball hat doesn't continue until tomorrow morning, Your Majesty. A grin crept on Yin's lips as she shook her head. Go dance, Midoriya. The green-haired scholar chuckled. Well then, will you dance with me, Your Majesty? Yin's grin only widened. Of course. Midoriya took her hand and dragged her to the dance floor where they danced with everyone. The music ended up too soon, so Yin decided to dance with him for a second time. They stopped when the music ended again, and Yin expected she'd be tired of dancing, but her friends pulled her to dance again, while Midori decided to sit down. Dear, why don't you dance with Bakugou? Midnight approached her and asked. Yin halted her movements to see Bakugou still sitting at his throne. However, 3 women were currently talking to him. Yin turned back to Midnight and smiled slightly. That's all right. He's currently occupied. Midnight's smile seemed to fade. Oh, is that so? Yes. Please excuse me. Yin can now feel the tiredness from dancing. She slipped through the dancing bodies to get a wine. Looking back, she can still see the women talking to Bakugou. She averted and finally got off the dance floor. A servant passed, and she got a drink. Then, Yin saw someone outside the Great Hall. She squinted her eyes and recognized it was Lady Erica. Yin placed her drink on the table and marched outside. Lady Erica. As soon as she got outside and approached her, Lady Erica turned and walked away. Wait. Yin followed her and saw her stop a few distance away from the doors of the Great Hall. Your Majesty, she curtsied. I haven't seen you for days. Are you all right? Lady Erica gave a small smile. I am now, Your Majesty. I'm so sorry you couldn't come to the ball. He is still... It's all right, Your Majesty. I know. Yin pursed her lips and watched as the lady looks like she wanted to say something. I am leaving, Your Majesty. Her brows furrowed. To where? Home. But why? Lady Erica sighed. I realize His Majesty does not need me anymore, and I realize that I've outstepped my boundaries. Are you sure you're going to leave? I mean, you and him are... No. Your Majesty, I only came here to satisfy His Majesty's needs, and the moment that I started to want more, I know it's finally time for me to leave. Lady Erica then stepped forward. I believe he doesn't need me anymore. In fact, in the first place, he wouldn't need me for so long. But you, Your Majesty, you are his wife, and you will be forever by his side, the lady said. I hope you can settle whatever is happening between you, because, believe me or not, I think His Majesty is starting to want you. Yin's face had genuine confusion. What for? For all she knows, Bakugou held a great disdain for her. In fact, you are the reason I was brought here. I really hope you can give in to him. Yin looked at Lady Erica's face to see any signs that what she's saying is a scam. But there is none. Lady Erica is genuine. Thinks that Bakugou is starting to want Yin. The royalty couldn't fathom why. Instead of asking about it, Yin decided not to dwell on it anymore and only stepped towards to hold Lady Erica's hands. There is nothing she can do if Lady Erica wants to leave. Bakugou has set his mind not to lay his eyes on Lady Erica anymore. His trauma got to him, and no one can also blame him for that. Take care on your journey. Lady Erica pulled away to curtsy again. Thank you, Your Majesty. Farewell. Soon the lady was walking away and will be on her way to the south. Yin breathed deeply before going back inside. As soon as she stepped inside, she saw Bakugou talking to Midnight, and when they turned to her, Bakugou glared at her, then started to walk to her. Where the fuck have you been? Before. Bakugou started drinking as soon as Yin left his side. He was just on his second glass when he spotted her talking to General Aizawa. That earned a nod of approval from Bakugou as he watched her conversate with Aizawa. The general is not a person to people talker, and he'll rarely mingle around at any parties. He considered it good that Yin is involving herself with the general because he's one of Bakugou's trusted men after all. He's curious as to what they are talking about and wanted to approach them, but Kirishima suddenly decided to approach him. Bakugou would have pushed him away, but when he glanced to where Aizawa was, he saw that Yin is no longer talking to him. So, there's no use in going there anymore. Hey, Bakugou, where's Yin? Aren't you two supposed to dance? The red hair asked. I don't dance, Kirishima. Bakugou took another sip of his wine. Don't be such a killjoy. Come on, go sweep her off and enjoy the night. Kirishima's clearly a little tipsy now. He pulled Bakugou up and slung him over his shoulder, the blonde shoulders. Then they tried to look for Yin. Oh, there she is. Kirishima pointed to the direction, and Bakugou followed. She's dancing with... motherfucker. Bakugou growled under his breath as soon as he saw Midoriya dancing with his wife. Leave me alone, shitty hair. The blonde brushed Kirishima's arms off him, and he turned to sit down again. A servant offered him another glass as he drank his wine in one swift gulp. Well, she's occupied now. Maybe you can dance later? Kirishima said, not even aware of Bakugou's pissed-off expression. Bakugou clicked his tongue. Just leave, shitty hair. Kirishima shrugged and walked away. Bakugou is left alone with his thoughts. He asked himself, why is it always Midoriya? Bakugou remembered the rumors about Yin and Midoriya. He remembered getting angry with her of it. But it died down as soon as everyone concluded that maybe Midoriya and Yin are just friends. But now, they are becoming close again? Just what the hell is going on between them? Bakugou was so deep in his thoughts that he did not notice three women approach to him. He couldn't even hear what they're saying about, and it's clear he's not interested, but they kept talking. His eyes wandered around the great hall and saw that Yin is nowhere to be found. The fuck? He set his glass aside and stood up. Wait, Your Majesty! The woman called for him, but he ignored them. He continued walking. He approached Mina. Where is she? He asked. Who? Yin. Oh, she excused herself, and he didn't let Mina finish, and continued to move. He couldn't see Midoriya either. Did she run off with him? Bakugou could now feel his anger rising. If he's in a clear mind right now, he would find this so silly, but he doesn't know what came over him, and to be jealous so suddenly. Bakugou, where are you going? Midnight approached him. Where is she? He asked, and Midnight immediately knew who he's talking about. Midnight then turned her head to the side, and Bakugou followed to see Yin standing there. Where the fuck have you been? Yin frowned as she studied Bakugou's anger expression. What happened? Why is he suddenly angry? She wanted to tell him she went out just to see Lady Erica so she could say her goodbye, but Yin thinks that it's not a good idea to mention Lady Erica to him right now. I just went to see something, she said, lowering her voice as she tried not to add any more fuel in Bakugou's anger. Really? That something, is it Deku? he assumed. Yin is now greatly offended and wondered why he suddenly thought of that. She thought everyone has forgotten about the rumors between her and Midoriya. What? No, it's not. Why would you think that? As much as Yin wanted to raise her voice, she can't. It wouldn't be good for Bakugou to be more pissed because he might do something to ruin the ball. He sneered. Don't lie to me. Yin glared at him. I am not. You were with him earlier, and when you're gone, I can't find him. You better not try to do something dirty behind me. Yin, or else I... Bakugou, that's enough. Midnight cut him off. Yin watched as her husband looked around and followed other nobles had started to notice the tension between them. Not here, she whispered to them. Bakugou clicked his tongue and walked past Yin to exit the great hall. Oh no, Mina muttered. Yin approached Midnight. Please make sure the ball will continue. I will, Midnight nodded. And while I do, go fetch him. We can't continue with this with our king missing. Yin nodded and started to follow Bakugou. She saw him get inside his room, and Yin followed inside. What is wrong with you? Yin asked as soon as she got inside. Midnight would like us to go back, please. The ball must continue. Bakugou is already starting to unbuckle his sword and took off his gloves and the coat of his uniform, leaving him with his shirt and pants. Then continue it without me, he retorted, going to the table by the fireplace where a basket of apples and a fruit knife rested. Just so you know, everyone would like to see your presence in the ball you are holding. I don't care, Sparkles. Let them get shit-faced till morning. I don't care. I'm done. Yin let out an exhausted sigh. You know, you sound like a child right now. Bakugou glared at her. If you have nothing good to say, I suggest you get out. No, I want you to know what bothered you so we can talk about it and get you back out there right now. Yin insisted, glaring at him as well. She had enough of his unperspectable temper. Bakugou suddenly walked and stopped in front of her. He towered over her and glared at her falter. You want to know what's wrong with me? You don't. Why don't you ask yourself what you did? What I did? Yin scoffed as she hardened her gaze. I was merely socializing out there. Yeah, it was that. You're recalling it? Socializing, Deku? Yin pursed her lips as she suddenly realized something. Well, she had a hunch about it earlier, but she doesn't want to count with it because it's Bakugou she's talking about after all. But what he said right now just confirmed the suspicion she desperately don't want to believe. Sorry guys, you gotta go part 2. Part 2 should be up as soon as this one is. Alright, go see it. Bye, love Lou.